You're muted.
They're probably going to hear this, but I'm going live. Whatever. When are we ever professional?
Listen, that's how things get done.
No, welcome
You're
aboard,
muted.
guys. Also, I forgot to mute the stream. There we go, quickly.
It's
Welcome aboard,
Spotlight
guys.
Night.
Spotlight Night, yeah. Spotlight Night. You know what? Let's just dive straight into it. Hello, Brigant and Yaz.
Is it Brigant or Brigante?
It's Brigante.
That's what I thought. I was right, Fuse. I would like this marked and known.
You know what? You'll receive your certificate tomorrow.
Thanks.
I'll draw it out on paint.
Brigante is the guild leader of the Sunhawks, which is, in fact, let's let you do it. Let's let them do the work.
Yeah, go ahead. Tell us what you're the leader of and what it is.
Oh my, I have to do some work. Well, essentially, we are a unit of Dragonhawk riders, all blood elves, and we take part in various campaigns. We have our own missions. It's pretty much like if you imagine a World War One fighter squadron, like that, with Dragonhawks. So lots of aerial heroics, lots of bragging, lots of people vying to become aces, and yes, that's what we do. We travel around the world and shoot things down.
Can't get any better than that.
When they're not doing that, they're in the city drinking and being, generally law-abiding hoodlums.
That is also true, yes. We do have a tendency, when off duty, to drink like fishes.
All the time.
Oh.
They're just always in the bar.
Yes, pretty much.
I've heard they've completely went through the bar's supply.
But that's what, pilots should do, I imagine.
Was it your original intent when creating the guild, or did you have a different concept in mind?
It was a weird one because I was originally in a couple of other guilds, really good ones. The Ashen Company and then the Dawn Guard. And in both cases, I was still playing the same character. Dragonhawk Rider, all that kind of thing. But it just never occurred to actually try and run my own guild. And then a couple of people got on board with the idea, and so we set up the guild, which by pure accident we happened to set up on my birthday.
At least it's easy to remember.
Well, exactly, yeah. So it's a tricky one. The character concept, yeah, that was always my intention, to actually run a guild. With that concept, that wasn't. But
I would like to find the person that's running a guild, sort of a long-term, long-standing guild, that actually intended to start running it.
Oh, yeah.
Because to me, it seems like they all just ended up there by happenstance and accident and situational circumstances.
Pretty much.
Got forced into it.
Yeah.
It's a very niche guild. You've lasted pretty long. How do you feel about that, to be honest? Because often
5 years now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, 5 years. It's pretty cool, to be honest, because I like the fact that people have taken the kind of niche idea, as you say, because it is a niche idea.
Yeah.
And have then went, actually, that sounds fun. I'm going to do that, or I'm going to make a character to do that sort of thing. So it's kind of like it's a lot of work because you are running a lot of missions, and obviously you can't fight things in the air in Warcraft, so you're having to use a lot of imagination and a lot of description. But fortunately, I've got an excellent officer team behind me who make that process a lot easier.
How do you do that? How do you do the aerial missions? when it's often complicated, let's just say.
Initially, what happens is I'll explain what's coming at them, what's happening, and what they need to do what they need to roll to combat it. How they actually do that is entirely up to them. How effective they are or ineffective. Nobody ends up having to feel like they're useless, and it's entirely down to individual characters, their own narrative, and how they see that air combat going. The alternative is that we have established a pretty good working relationship with some people who also play flyers on Alliance side. And we've got a whole Discord community where we correspond, and if needs be, we've got an in-character, forum for those fights.
Yeah.
So, we can interact with those guys.
How do you
That's cool.
spice things up? Is there ever a moment where you find things get a little repetitive when it comes to that particular concept, basically?
It's just about keeping the stories fresh, keeping the enemies fresh. I mean, when we started out, it was towards the end of Mists of Pandaria, and so because Lorthamar Theron had thrown his hat in the ring, we ended up on the side of the rebellion. So we were fighting Garrosh's proto-Drake riders, so that was new. And then after that, as a result of that, we had an aerial nemesis that lasted for about 4 years, which was a Nathrezim with various types of followers. So again, you're keeping it different. You're making the enemies different, their tactics different, how they operate different. The next enemy was a black marketeer arms dealer.
Not me.
I hate that guy so much. So much. No, I think as well, we're quite fortunate in the Sunhawks that we've got a lot of different people that like to GM. So we've got Briggs, who tends to run the epic aerial stuff. We've got a lot of the new blood that have come through have got a lot of interesting plot ideas that they're running that go in very different directions. So while on the face of it, we're a niche guild that just runs flying combat, there's a lot of different stories that get told in that arena.
Alright.
I think it speaks quite well to the quality of your roleplay and of your characters and of your presence in the game as well, that even though it is such a niche aspect of, the military sort of theme, so it's very, very much its own thing, that you have got such a vast array of characters and continually have people creating characters to fit into it because it's, you do it so well.
Yeah, it's lasted so long as well, and you can't say that for
Yeah.
many other guilds that would fall into that category, which is great, really.
Well, yeah, I suppose. I mean, that's nice of you to say so. It's certainly, something that we go for is, it's niche, but we like to make it fun.
Yeah.
So how does your recruitment work then?
How do
Can you run
you
us through the
go about
process?
picking people?
Well,
So, what we do is we get the recruits to come to our base usually in Silvermoon, to do an interview. So they get a bit of blah from the officers telling them what the rules are, what our expectations are, how the unit functions essentially. And then there's a couple of questions that get slipped in there that kind of give us a good idea of what the character's like and whether they'll fit in with the rest of the unit. Then the officers leave, and we get some of these rookies and members to talk through what it's actually like being in the units. They can ask questions that they wouldn't necessarily want to ask in front of the head of the guild. So, is Briganti really a bastard? What's it like serving with Yaz? That kind of thing.
Is he actually insane?
Yeah. all those questions they get to ask during that sort of period where we've left them to it. And the members quite enjoy that as well, because I think they like getting the chance to try and talk people out of their mad decision to join a flying unit.
So is it a bit of a how tough are you conversation?
Sometimes, yeah. It's a bit of a... They get a sense of what we're like, we get a sense of what they're like, and then if everybody agrees that it looks like a good fit, they come on board as a rookie. So they get a little bit of sort of almost a trial period where they can decide if this is something they really want to commit to, and we go from there.
How do you decide if they're fit for your guild?
Essentially, that pretty much comes down to, well, trial and error, how people actually act in roleplay, whether they enjoy it, and so it's pretty much at the point that they're a rookie, then they're part of the unit. So it just depends whether they're having fun and whether they're fitting in, really.
That's fair. What's one of the main adventures that stands out for you and your guild?
Yeah, you guys seem to have quite we had Sanguinai on here as well, and they're the other one that I think do this. They have these massive, in-depth, overarching plot lines going on through your guild.
Yeah.
Like, it seems, that you can read. If you are interested, by the way, in the Sunhawks, definitely check out their forum thread on the Realm forums, because it is top drawer. There's always something to read there.
Is there basically any particular adventure that's had a hard impact on the guild, or something that kind of is ingrained in your character's mind?
I'm going to shut up and let you answer this.
Do you want to take that one, Yasmir, or should I?
Yeah, I mean, I can take that one.
Tell us about the black market guy.
Oh, the black market guy, right. So about 2 years ago, there was this RP PvP campaign in Redridge, which you might have heard about, which I wasn't in the guild at that point, and Brigante wrote a piece of fiction about a letter bomb being sent to the area and killing a poor little cadet. And at that point, I contacted him and said, well, I've never really played Blood Elves before. I don't really like them. I don't know what they're doing in my beautiful horde of monsters, but you've got this character who's potentially really interesting in how the parents are dealing with the death of this kid and the fact that the horde have taken it and started this whole Vengeance for Iolanthe campaign. Would you mind if I came and played her as a DPC for a bit? And 2 years later, I'm still here, which is a bit of an unexpected twist. But it turned out that it wasn't the Alliance that had sent the letter bomb. It was this black market arms dealer called Rainmaker, who then became the focus of nearly a year and a half of plot of trying to chase him down, dismantle his empire, eventually deal with him himself. And dealt with a lot of quite big themes, because one of the big things that sets us apart from a lot of the other Horde built units is our stance on not killing or torturing prisoners. So having this arc where my character and my character's partner were both incredibly fixated on vengeance against this guy, and having to kind of rationalize that within the ethics of the unit with this really kind of sprawling adventure.
Alright. So, I don't think I've ever had a campaign that long, personally. I've built up for over that long, even. So, yeah, sounds really cool, actually. Let's have a look at this. I'm still a bit all over the place, having come in 20 minutes beforehand.
All the ones about Brigante's son just ripped me to pieces.
That was a horrible plot line.
Oh, it's just rough. Even from a very great distance, that one was rough.
Yeah.
No parents should join the Sunhawks. We just don't do well with kids, apparently.
Hey, Brigante has 2 kids now. They're alive.
I think that only
Currently
makes it
alive.
worse.
Currently alive, yeah.
When is it their turn?
They're on the chopping block.
I think I'll draw a ticket and just decide then.
Roll the dice.
Yeah, pretty much.
Would you care to tell us a little bit about your current member base?
Yeah, we've got...
How many aces do you have? Who are they?
How many aces? Oh, blimey. There's probably about 7 now, I think. And a few who are on their way to becoming aces. I mean, in terms of the player base in the guild themselves, it's a really close-knit kind of guild. It's we're not massive because we don't want to be massive. It's supposed to be like a squadron.
Yeah.
So it's supposed to be kind of small and tight and one unit. This said,
Again,
yeah, sorry.
I think is one of the really nice things about the guild is that it is that very small, tight unit where everyone kind of has their own niche and tells their own story. And the ace thing is very much a part of that, in that you get given, you don't pick your own ace name, you get given it by the aces who've gone before you. So at that point, we've got a fairly good take on who the character is, what their role is, if they've done anything memorable, and their ace name gets picked based on that.
Yep.
It's usually sort of slightly taking the piss out of something that they've done, because it's supposed to keep us humble, apparently. Not that that really succeeds that well.
Well, maybe not.
Flyers.
Maybe not with you. But yeah, Yaz is right. It's supposed to be slightly mocking, but at the same time not cruelly mocking, that kind of friendly mocking way.
Friendly banter, basically.
Yeah,
very much that.
Affectionate jest.
Thing is, saying that about us being really small, we've got 12 online at the moment waiting for us to get back to our exciting installment of tonight's event.
Well, let's get that done real quick. And last question, sort of answered, I guess, but what do you do during your downtime and where do you hang out? Where can people find you?
The
Well,
Rock Tavern. I'm not salty.
generally, we either can be found in the Rangers Lodge on Fast Rider Square, or pretty usually we can be found in the Silver Moon City Tavern. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie.
All right. I'm going to throw in one question. Can we make Phelan an honorary ace?
No, listen, Thielen and Briggs have a really good thing going. I'm very proud of it. I love it to pieces, and no one's going to ruin it or I'll kill them dead.
Oh, now you're tempting me.
Jarissa, you just stay away, right?
No.
Stay away.
I'm going to dismantle everything Phelan's worked for.
Listen, it's been years. He's been working on this for years, very subtly working. We're going to build it up. I don't know if Narmi told you, but the next step in our slowly creeping campaign of getting in good with the military guilds is we're going to be running a big party for you guys when you get back from this campaign, if you're still alive.
Oh joy!
This is a question: do I get to rob them each?
Good old honest citizens welcoming home their heroes. It's going to be great.
All right.
Do you know what? We have egos big enough that we'd go for that.
That's what Theo's banking on. I'm not going to lie.
I don't think it's an ego thing. I think it's the moment you put free drink on it, you're going to get most of the Sunhawks turning up.
Yeah, and it's going to be exclusive to Sunhawks as well, so it's going to be pretty nice, I think. Pretty good. Anyway,
you have your guild to get back to.
Can we mention the conclave for 5 minutes?
Go ahead. I'll let you throw that in.
There was 4 or 5 hours of conclave to slog through, and Brigante made the entire thing worth it. I want you to know that you almost destroyed everyone in my guild. We could not breathe for laughing at Brigante's sudden insane rants, and it was fabulous. We were going to send him fruit baskets.
Have you seen the official conclave bingo card that's been doing the rounds?
I've seen a couple of versions. There's always a couple of versions floating. But we need to add Briganti going insane to them now. I feel like
it already has Briganti causes a scene and Briganti gets kicked out as squares on.
When does Brigant not cause a scene? But just this year's scene was the best yet.
Oh yeah, it's all on there.
I was trying to stream it and I physically could not speak. I was just dying. Oh my god. It was glorious. Thank you very much for that. We really enjoyed it.
Fair enough.
Well,
it is fun sometimes playing the contrary character, the character who kind of goes, "No, I'm not having that."
I don't care about your social airs and graces.
Pretty much.
I love him. He's brilliant.
Well, I mean, that's it. I'm going to let you get back to your guild because we're kind of holding you hostage at the moment.
Yeah, I really need to start running this event again.
Yeah, go for it. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for taking some time out of your event to join us as well.
Yes, thank you so much for being here. The VOD will be up later. If you ever have any prospective recruits that want to know more about Sunhawks, now you have a handy dandy link to throw at them.
Yep.
Very good point. Thank you for having us. Right.
All right.
Enjoy your event. Don't die. We have a big party planned. There's going to be snacks.
It's going to be great. Cheerio then.
All right. See you
Bye,
too.
friends.
Cheers.
Right. Second half of it, we shall be talking about some of the events coming up, and it seems like there's a lot more alliance things than anything
When is
else.
that not the case?
I think last month was more Horde than Alliance.
Seriously?
Yeah. I might be wrong though. You could quote me on that literally by going to the video.
I'm going to go back and check the documents.
Let's have a look at this. We have a lot of tavern hours actually. So
Taverns are the best.
on Alliance side, we have the Scarlet Raven hours, which is in Darkshire Duskwood, on the 29th of March. As expected, there'll be foods and drinks and rooms and stories, quests and bounties to follow, anything. It'll be sort of like a general talk area where you can kind of find things to do or just socialise basically. I believe the person running it is Fawn Shock. Another tavern event, which is in Borealis Tavern Nights, the Compass, 6th of April. Hook Point around the fish market. Event details, well, I mean it's just a tavern night again, which again you can expect socialising, find business prospects or anything along those lines really. It's random.
Yeah, guys, if you're ever going to a tavern event, you don't just have to go for drinks.
Yeah.
You can always go to try and
flirt, business,
business, dodgy trades, try and do magic tricks or cons or something, pickpockets, yeesh. Just, be careful about the trouble you're going to get into. But, you can cause a bit of a scene. So long as, it's not like a massive, truly nonsense rabble. But, think outside the box. You can do lots of different things at taverns.
Yeah. That one's run by the Moonspit Trading Corp, which is from what I've heard, I want to still interact with them at some point. They're a pretty great, fun guild to interact with. Eve of Respite, Elven Culture, which is run on my birthday. April 7th. The location is Embassy in Stormwood Outskirts. The event is essentially Elven culture as a whole, like Night Elves, Highborn, High Elves, Blood Elves, everything. I believe they're coming together to kind of, talk about it, reminisce, all that sort of thing. So talk about the history, basically.
Oh, I was reading totally the wrong thing. That's why I can't catch up.
Oh.
I'm on board now. Never mind. I've caught up.
That is run by Azerion. I can't remember what guild they're in, but there is on the link there, so you can check it out as well. Once I put it up on the thread. There is the Festival of the Tides, also being run on the 7th of April, which is Unity, either going to be run in Unity Square or Tradewind Market. It's essentially another culture sort of get together for the Cultirians.
So everybody got their Cultarians roll. I'm never going to get a Cultarian because I'm never going to get that much rep on the Alliance side. But still.
I'm still stuck on picking a class. The contact for that is Seabridge, which runs the Cultarian Marine build, I believe. There is my event as well, which is the Heart of the Forest, coming up from the 13th to the 14th of April.
Is that Alliance?
That is Alliance.
Okay.
The location is Ferrolas, Feathermoon Stronghold. It's pretty much a evening of celebrating spring, but also, reminiscing about the fallen, trying to inspire refugees or civilians to take up arms and fight against the wretched Forsaken. There's going to be a few activities you can get involved in, like archery, moonball, which is that using that toy wand you can, flick spells at each other and stun each other. Sparring. There's teachings ran in Arcane, the Priesthood, and Druidism. The Priesthood is ran by Timotar. I believe the Arcane one is ran by Sire and another person. Sorry, I forgot the name. I'm not
That's
very good
rounded
at names.
up quite well then. Lots of things going on.
Yeah, I had to put it to 2 days to make it more detailed and fun to do.
Yeah, this is the thing, like if I was going to something like that, I'd want to go to quite a few of the things.
Yeah.
So I think if you spread them out a bit, it allows people to see more of them and not make difficult choices.
And the Druidism stuff is going to be ran by my Fundus. So I mean, if you have a Night Elf or want to make a Night Elf, and maybe RP them as a novice or a refugee or a civilian, and they're looking to get into this sort of thing, it's a good time to do it. Obviously, you can contact me for that on Ursia, Melvin, or Marzia. Horde. I mean, you can mention those 2 events if you want.
Because they're ours.
Yep.
Alright, so Oath of Silver runs a small variety of different public events. The first one is on Tuesday evenings. We run a medical clinic, the Alori Medical Clinic, which is a free clinic for everyone from street beggars to military personnel, and we can treat anything from a cough, a cold, to an injury or a wound, to therapy and all sorts of things. We have a whole lot of people that do a whole lot of different things. Even cater to people wanting to learn healing and or first aid type things. If you want to do that, you can come in, speak to one of our healers, and they will take on volunteers and apprentices and things like that. Story-wise, we're using it for nefarious things as well. But listen, you don't need to know about that. As it stands, you can come down for literally any reason, pop in, say hello. It's going to be run in the southmost building on the the exchange. It is the exchange, right? I'm getting it right. The Hall of Respite. The Hall of Respite, the bottom of the exchange. It's going to be run there. It's tomorrow night. It starts about 9 p.m. server time. It runs for about 2 hours, but we will stay longer if there's stuff going on. So just call in, say hi. It's all good. If tomorrow night doesn't suit you and that sounds like something you'd be interested in, however, you can always send one of our healers or myself a note in character or out of character, and we can arrange appointments at other times as well. We also run the Merchant's Last Coin Tavern Hours, more taverns. This one is a Horde one. We run it on Wednesday in Wayfarer's Rest. It's run again at 9 p.m. server time for 2 hours, and it's just your regular old tavern night. If you want some thugs dressed up as doormen and some banter, it's all there. So that's tomorrow night at 9 p.m. We're working on a couple of other ones too, but they're not there yet. So shh. Is there not a Zandalari Tavern Hours as well?
That is
Mondays.
Up, I believe. I don't think it's a reoccurring thing, or maybe it's a.
Oh, does he just pop it up at random?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Sorry. My bad.
I still haven't planned it yet. I've promised the Oath of Silver, but there will probably be something of an every other month or a monthly sort of black market.
Our black market. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. That should be good.
That's not been put up yet, but it should be something that will be applicable for both factions, basically. There is only one event that I found during my quick skimming, or had the helpful section of chatties who set up upcoming events on forums that you
just
can look at
link that in chat as well.
Yeah. Spellweaver's Gathering, which is also on the 6th of April. There's a lot of events being around the 6th of April, so...
The 6th of April is going to be a busy day.
Gonna...
Also, that's the day that I rescheduled my stupid charity stream too. So, it's going to be busy.
Don't forget to watch that if you do go to events, by the way. And also
if you do
give
go
to
to
charity.
Events, put me on your second screen.
Yeah.
We are doing giveaways. Got some Chronicle books.
Yeah. Don't worry, we'll plug that in properly in a second. Spellweaver's Gathering, the meeting will consist of speech, lectures, open discussion, debate, socializing. It's a bunch of spellcasters getting together, basically. Contact being Morroban. That's the end of that list.
Nothing good will come of spellcasters getting together. They're going to blow something up.
So, if you want to explain your charity more properly, go ahead.
Okay, it was meant to be the last Saturday that's just passed there, but it didn't happen. Or this Saturday coming? I'm not sure. No, last Saturday. Anyway, it didn't happen because real life got in the way, but I am promised that it's going to work out. For Saturday, April the 6th, we are going to be collecting for Sam's and for Ellie's Retreat, which is a local child bereavement charity here. I will explain more about them on the day, obviously. We are going to be playing a multitude of games. We're going to be painting some minis. We're going to be playing Outlast, Warcraft, Sims, a whole bunch of other stuff. Dead by Daylight, they're going to terrify the pants off me basically all day. We're collecting for those charities. There's going to be milestones. I think we're going to read Go the Fuck to Sleep at some point. There's going to be giveaways. I've got Warcraft Chronicle Book 1 and Book 2 to give away. I think I'm going to give away them at the game time as well. It's going to be a blast. I'm so excited for it, you guys. So if you want to check that out, that's going to be April the 6th, Saturday, from 12 noon to midnight.
Okay. There you go. If you want to check that out, well, I mean, you should. 6th of April, Meraki stream. I will put a link for it on the thread as well, actually.
Yes.
Otherwise, you can follow me on Twitter. You can
jump into the creators Discord.
Yeah, jump into the creators Discord. There's always art popping up now and again, which is great to see. I like seeing art. I did add an Instagram there, although I rarely use Instagram. So if you want,
do you love how stylish my two thugs look?
They are pretty stylish.
They're the bomb.
Although I see a trend going on here with the hairstyles.
They're twins.
No, I mean Lorenthus as well. Who's the missing link?
I think they took some kind of pact. I'm not sure what's going on.
Yeah, if you want to follow on Instagram, there you go. It's a link below the stream. There's also YouTube. Subscribe, please. I mean, I'm still trying to get to the 100 subscribers, so I can change that URL. And obviously, you can support me on Patreon if you want to. Nothing blocking behind the payment that you put forwards or whatever towards me. It's just voluntary, basically. Otherwise, there won't be any AD talks next month at all.
For all of April?
Yeah, for all of April. We'll be coming back on, let's have a look.
May?
May...
What date in May?
2nd of May.
The 2nd of May.
Maybe the 9th, depending how I feel, but I'll let people know either way. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much for being here, friends. Thank you very much for Sunhawks to hanging out today. That was awesome to have you guys in. And I shall see you guys in May.
Yeah. Or you can
friends,
see Meraki,
that's a long time.
You can see Meraki more on her stream.
You can see me. You can see more of me. If you want more of this hot mess, you can see more of me on my stream.
That being said, just because I'm not streaming 80 talks, I might stream some more Batman. So
yes, yeah,
I'm
doing terrifying thing.
I finished that game actually. As we all saw me fighting a big gooey monster, but you know, yeah, I'm playthroughing Batman at the moment. So there we go. See you guys.
Bye, friends.
If I can actually click the end stream button. There we go.